So Arthur says, hi guys, thank you so much for providing so much useful information on your website and YouTube. It was very overwhelming to plan a trip in New Zealand without your help. We are planning to rent a non-self-contained sleeper van. Is it legal for us to stop somewhere along the road with beautiful scenery, etc. during the day and have picnic and cook lunch, or must we only day camp in holiday park or dock sites? Right, so that's a very good question, Arthur.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually are getting a little confused about having a non-self-contained camper van and what they can do and what they can't do. So the first thing I want to explain quickly is what is the difference between a self-contained camper van and what is not. Now, a self-contained camper van is a camper van that is basically completely self-contained, where you have all your grey water and all of that. And in short, for you guys, you don't have to know all the legal description. It has a blue sticker that says self-contained camper van on it. If it has a self-contained camper van, then you are able to use all the freedom camp areas in New Zealand, meaning that you can park in selected areas, still selected areas, not everywhere, but in most of the freedom camp areas and everything, you can park there, spend the night, and very often it's going to be free. Now, if you have a non-self-contained camper van, it means that you have basically a sleeper van, a car with a mattress on the back, basically, or a camper van that doesn't have all the facilities like toilet and all of that. And that means that you can sleep in your car just as a person. You have the ability to do that. However, legally, you do not have the right to stay in any of the freedom areas and freedom campsites and all of that, because you're not self-contained, and therefore you will produce waste and damage the beautiful New Zealand environment. So that's the difference. The self-contained camper van has the blue sticker. The non-self-contained camper van doesn't have these blue stickers. Now, the short answer to your question is, can you do that?
Yeah, so you could, so basically in the daytime, you can park up anywhere. You can park up in rest stops and, have a picnic on any sort of, obviously in a safe place on the side of the road. If there's a lot of picnic stops along the main highways in New Zealand. So if you see some beautiful scenery and there's a parking area there, you can park up there. You can make lunch, you can go to do all of that sort of things, and you will not be hassled whatsoever. It's just like driving around in your car normally, and you would stop for lunch, just as it's a normal thing to do. It's only at night where you're more likely to get into trouble.
Yeah. So now, if you were to park at night, right, which does happen, and let's say like you're in Queenstown, for example, they really hate camper vans in Queenstown. They do not like backpackers over there, and you park your sleeper van somewhere, because you stay in a hostel, for example, make sure that you leave the curtains open, because otherwise they will give you a fine by thinking that you're sleeping in. So you need to be able to see that no one is sleeping in there when you're parking the camper van. So keep that in mind. It's very, very important. So freedom camping basically means freedom camping basically means at night and when you're sleeping in there. You also one thing though, you do not have the right to set up a tent during the day if you're not self-contained place, but obviously you wouldn't park up, just set up a tent to do lunch. So that would be the thing. But I just want you to know that. Now, a lot of people are going to watch this video and be like, why would I get a non-self-contained camper van? Why would I get a sleeper van? There's not much advantage to it. But we actually do think that sleeper van are, in many cases, actually better than camper van. And we'll give you a few reasons why we think you should still consider a non-self-contained camper van. And the first thing that comes in mind to me is that they are so much easier to drive. They're usually much smaller. They're usually basically a car with a mattress on the back, and they're so much easier to drive. Another reason? Another reason, with a self-contained camper van, you always have to return to a paid accommodation like a holiday park or a campsite around every 3 days to top up all your water and to empty your waste and everything like that anyway. So even if you do get a self-contained camper van and do some freedom camping, you're going to always have to go back to holiday parks and actually pay for some accommodation eventually. So, From what we talk with people and from our experiences as well, you spend at least a third of your time in paid accommodation or paid camping site, even when you have a self-contained camper van anyway. So it's you're only saving about a third. The other thing that comes to mind for me about kind of this choosing a sleeper van, so something which is non-self-contained, is that honestly, you can take one of the best RV in the world, no, not the best RV in the world, but some of the really expensive RV, like beautiful camper van and everything. You still have much room. It's going to be still better to shower and to cook in the facilities of a nice holiday park rather than doing it in you cram a camper van with, you know, like everything getting smelly and everything like that. So honestly, you will have a better time using the facilities if you're in a holiday park anywhere and you're on holiday. So you can save so much money, and I think that's going to be Laura's next point. You can save so much money on the size of the camper van that you get by getting just a non-self-contained one that you compensate so like perfectly, and you can stay in like really nice holiday parks.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah. So actually, yes. Saying about saving money, there's actually quite a lot of ways you can save money with non-self-contained vehicles. Really, if you're renting a non-self-contained vehicle, it's going to be cheaper than renting a self-contained vehicle. They're smaller vehicles, and they're just, the rental prices of them are just simply cheaper. So you do save money there, but you also save money because although freedom camping is quite appealing, thinking like, oh yeah, I don't have to pay accommodation for the night, the campsites around New Zealand, and especially the Department of Conservation campsites, are usually pretty cheap. So you can pay as little as like $5 for a campsite for the night, which really is not
nothing.
Really. Yeah. If you weigh that up for the amount of money that you would have spent renting a self-contained vehicle for the night, you know, it's going to probably work out being cheaper to get.
You have some sleeper car which is going to be like $40 a day, when the campervan is going to be at least 120 or 160. So the difference is there. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing for saving money that you forgot to mention is the gas. I mean, just running a small car compared to a big campervan is going to save you heaps on gas. Like, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So yes, that's pretty important. The last thing I want to mention is your age. When you rent a big RV, usually there is a bit of a tighter age restriction. So young drivers usually are more pushed towards smaller vehicle. So if you are young, if you're like 18, 19, 20, you usually going to have a much easier time to find yourself a non-self-contained campervan to rent.
Yeah.
So for us, as you can see, guys, non-self-contained campervan, we are kind of fond of them. Yeah. We think they're pretty cool. All right, so we hope that this answered your entire question, Arthur. If you guys have any questions about freedom camping in New Zealand, about camping in New Zealand, about traveling in New Zealand, anything about New Zealand, put them in the comment below and we'll pick it up during our next live session. Obviously, if you also find this video useful, make sure to click like and subscribe. We are here to help.